It's 10 o'clock, man. What do you want me to do? Right. Okay, so we are now live. Welcome to the On Show, the Orochinagi Show, with your host, Gensmith, and special guests. Well, a special guest for now. Hopefully more will turn up, but we've got... why don't you introduce yourself?
I go online by Luna. I carry Luna when the shorter nick isn't available.
Okay.
I've been following SMK shenanigans since Fatal Fury 1. Try to pitch into spreading the good words. Nowadays that's mostly putting stuff on the SMK Play More subreddit. Been at that for well over a year now. Most other sites cover just about everything else. Most sites cover the tournament stuff,
Hello.
news, and whatnot. I try to provide some new and old stuff in a convenient location.
Hello.
Hello, Ludo. Hello.
How are you, Alan?
I'm alright. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm quite happy about the new trailer or teaser for KOF14.
You are so rude. You just come into my show. We are broadcasting live, and you just go, "Yeah, I interrupt. Here I am. Hello. I'm going to start talking. I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to introduce everyone. Okay, so one at a time, please.
Sorry.
I'll come back to you in a second. Right. Thank you.
No.
Sorry, Lewis.
I said my piece.
All right, then fine. Okay, fine. Right. Right. Yeah. Ludovic, how would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. I'm Dobik Wolf, Ludovic. Been playing KOF since Fatal Fury 1.
Nice.
Which is the original KOF, we say. So yeah. I love SNK games anyway, so yeah. Oh, I am from France, but live in London.
No, you're not. Yeah, you're not. You're not French.
No, I didn't say I'm French. I say I'm from France. but I
Right.
live
Right.
in
Okay.
London.
Yeah. What are you doing over in London? It sounds familiar to someone else's situation, doesn't it? Really?
Well, really?
Yeah. Maybe. I can't remember. Somebody else, I think, wasn't it? Comes from England but lives in France. I don't know who that is.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Strange people.
Someone who likes cats, yeah?
Yeah, cats, innit? Cats are the best, mate. Better than Street Fighter. Right, and then we've got Vin. Hello, Vin. No, we don't. Yeah, hello.
Now I activated, sorry.
Ah, there you go. Right, introduce yourself, Vin.
Okay, my name is Vin Aleixo. Just call me Van.
Okay.
Zio foreigners. I played KOF since 2004 because it's the year I actually cared about KOF because of arcade in home. And I practiced in PS1 version of KOF 98, and thanks to that I played fighting games in pad.
Okay.
But I'm actually anime player and still care about King of Fighters series after all.
Cool.
My
All
favorite
right.
versions are 2002 UM, 11, and 13, my top 3.
Okay. Cool. All right. So.
Hi guys.
Sorry. Oh yeah. Hello everyone. Of course. Yes. So let's see. Is anyone else trying to invade? Doesn't look like it so far. I think that's plenty of us in there. So what we'll do, of course, and if anyone else is on the stream who wants to watch or get involved, then come on in, because more the merrier, and we'll turn this into some kind of crazy stuff. You guys are aware, of course, I am streaming this live, so there is no editing later on or anything. It's just live, okay? So try to keep it PG-13, okay? And
Do my best.
Lewis, you're in this twice now? What's going on? I see 2 accounts for Lewis. I don't know what's going on. Right, whatever. Let's give it a go. And I've got, as you know, I got a
his
video on.
backup.
Sorry.
Maybe he's on his cell phone.
Oh right, yeah, okay. I'm also streaming this on YouTube, so it's everyone can see this, and on Twitch as well. So anyone who's got an Xbox or PlayStation 4 can probably see this with some really bizarre graphics going on in the background. Right, so we're going to talk about KOF 14. I might as well try and run the trailer one more time for people to see what the hell's going on and what we're all talking about. Yeah, let's see. Where is it? Okay, it's probably here. Yeah, that looks good. Let's run that. Let's run
The
that.
King of Fighters. Ready, go! King of Fighters 14.
Yes, sir. That was the King of Fighters 14. So I guess we might as well ask each other, of course, the your first impressions, and we'll start with an order, of course, of people who arrived first. So, Lewis, let us know when you've finished your opinion, so that we can go to the next person.
Well, the Leona was expected. Shang was a nice surprise. I mean, the Hope was an outfit. The one detail I particularly, no, 2 or 3 details I liked. Leona felt very, for what little we saw, felt very true to her teen self, despite the tweaked colors. So that it gave me an optimistic view of the whole thing. I found it interesting how they kept Yori's claw effect from 12 and 13, but still, despite the use of the flames, I mean, that integrated a bit the classic with the new, which was a positive touch. A bit weary of how the models are shaded and whatnot, but looks like they're onto something. I mean, when looking at the screenshots in greater detail, it looks like Shang's model is in better shape than everyone else. Maybe they started with Kyo and Yori and they sharpened their techniques as they moved on to different characters. So who knows what we'll see in a few months' time. I don't even say December on the PlayStation event, but by then, if we're lucky, we'll have 4 characters there, let alone an expanded cast. But looking interesting. I wish they tweak the art direction, mostly the way the models are shaded. Combos are working. Seems, if not fluid, at least something we can work with. For now, I'll just wait for the next trailer and reports from the PlayStation Experience event. What about you guys?
Okay, that's Ludo. I was happy to see the trailer. I'm like, see some more action, see some combos, I see how it works. It looks like it's KOF. Like nothing silly, just typical KOF gameplay, which is quite great, quite good. I don't really understand the reaction for people being really negative about the graphics or whatever. The game doesn't seem to be even beta ready. It's probably alpha or maybe less, we don't know yet, because they haven't said much, as Louis said. I think Chugby in the game is great. Because I'm going to use him, so that's definitely a character I'm going to use. So I'm like, yes. Yeah, I think it's great that KOF is back. Like they actually putting it out. And like you see, the director of the game is someone been working for, in some cases, in the early 90s. So he knows about the history of the franchise. You know, he knows about the gameplay. He knows what KOF is about. And I think they couldn't really find someone better than to do the job. But maybe, who knows? But yeah, I'm quite optimistic about this. I can't wait for December to see what's he going to show at that PlayStation event or that Sony event. Hopefully, more than 4 characters and like showing the game actually how it's going to play. Not too bothered about the graphics, to be honest, because the game for me has always been about gameplay first, and as long as it's not stupidly silly or hurts people's eyes, it should be okay, But yeah.
After watching the second trailer, it became a KOF game. Just like Yasuyuki Oda, games director, said KOF 14 should have the KOF DNA, and it did have the KOF DNA. So I was quite happy with that. I know that no newer KOFs will come the same to 2K2 but I'm quite optimistic about trying to get a level from 98 gameplay wise. The models of characters are okay, but I was happy that they brought Chang, even I don't main him in older KOFs. Just like I have one day I like Chang and Choi, other day I like Huajai and Raiden, but doesn't matter. And the fact that he's now fugitive with he and Choi, if they confirmed, and Rebel Ken will be a great addition to the lore of the new saga of this KOF. And where Luis said about character modeling, it reminds that how Capcom did to Street Fighter 4. They modeled the other characters based on Ryu model. And it's serious. They did it in Street Fighter 4, modeling Ryu characters too.
It's just an AVP, my friend.
Let me continue. They modeled the other characters with Ryu. Ooh. And so they created the other characters. The same can happen to KOF. Remind, the director are from Dips. So, and I hope they show the full gameplay and PlayStation experience December. So I'm optimistic about this gameplay. That's all, guys. Dragon?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Go
Hey.
for it.
Well, Dunsmith, I'm from the KOF group that you posted, so I thought I'd join, so hey, Snarl.
Yeah, I
So,
know. Go for it. Let's go. You can read the comments on the right, yeah?
yeah, on the YouTube video.
No, I mean the comments on the Google Hangout.
I don't see any.
No, me neither.
Oh, okay.
There's a button.
It's a very streamlined
I see it now.
new
Sorry,
age.
I see it. On the top left, there's a little blue
Oh yes, I see it.
press.
Cool. Okay, so
It's our first time.
Yeah, my first time as well.
oh, don't worry, I'll guide you through it, mate. I'll be gentle. Okay.
Yeah, be gentle, please.
Right. So Assad, you've just joined us. You'll come give us your opinion after
Hey, who
Dragon.
told you,
Okay,
my
dude.
mate?
Well, I think like initially
Dragon.
you see the first trailer and it's kind of like you hype for it, and then you see, the sort of janky sort of animations and that. But after seeing the second trailer, I am optimistic that it's in good hands. Like you said, because the person working on it has worked from SNK from back in the day. I'm not so concerned of the graphics because we're playing it for the KOF style. I mean, I never liked the Street Fighter 4 graphics when I saw it. I wasn't like, oh shit, it looks so good. I was just more hyped to play Street Fighter 4 for its gameplay. So I can understand other people looking at it and being like, oh no, when you compare it to, I don't know, other games, it doesn't sort of scream, the graphics don't jump out. But like, I think I saw someone tweeted that all this, say, controversial information is making people talk about KOF like more and the game. So I'm hoping that sort of makes more interest. The comment threads on a lot of the things is, quite long. Maybe not, let's say, positive things, but it's making people more talking about it and more interest in it. So I'm happy that they showed a bit more, because I thought I'm gonna have to wait all the way until December to see anything. So I'm glad, just unexpectedly they showed the trailer, and they showed like Leona and Chang, because he wasn't in KOF13, so it's good that they have a character that we haven't seen in the last game. So it's like the other person said as well, it's going to have the KOF DNA, and that's the main thing, changing it from like the 2D sort of sprite look to how it is now. As long as it's got the KOF play style and it looked like it did from the moves and animations, then I will probably play it and like it just as much as anyone. And because of the reactions, I think the graphics will get better. I hope so. So I'm just really looking forward to it.
Okay, Assad then, I guess.
Oh, well, yeah, it's another point, isn't it? Because in the first trailer, we didn't really see much going on anyway, and a lot of people thought that it might turn out to be, a 3D fighter.
Maximum Impact free.
What was that? Sorry.
Maximum Impact free.
Yes,
They
basically, people thought because it's 3D models, they were also going to go the same 3D fighting way as it would be.
But no.
But it's a 2D plane. Yeah, and it's still on a 2D plane, and it's still similar to older KOFs. We've not seen anything regarding HDs yet. Then again, these are teasers, so we don't know. I think the most interesting thing, like everyone would agree, is the fact that Chang is back. That's very exciting because Chang, well, as everyone knows, is awesome.
Chang is man.
Yeah, and I mean, I personally feel very excited about it because I like the character designs. Even though I know some people seem a little negative about the character designs because it's a change, and well, you have to sort of deal with change at some point or another. As long as, like Eternal Dragon said, as long as the KOF spirit is still in there, as long as the gameplay works like a KOF game, it would be fine. And there are quite a few interesting things in the trailer itself. The second one, at least, the first one didn't have much, and it's one of the worrying things for me personally, because I saw well, this was in the first trailer as well. I saw two little camera movements. We've seen Iori's weird red background slash, which I'm assuming is some kind of a super move, desperation move or something, and there's another camera movement with Kyo, so it seems to have some weird dynamic camera like Street Fighter 4 and Guilty Gear and other games that also have the 3D model structure, which I'm kind of worried about because I don't usually like that in my fighting games, but that's just me. Of course, other people will probably enjoy it. I could probably get over it as well because the game still looks quite interesting. And I'm very hyped for it. Yeah, that's that.
Okay. Right, I think that's everyone has given their impression of the game trailer. Apart from me, so I guess I should say something. Yeah, what you all said. Everything. Yes, yeah, it's all good. Yeah, I can't be asked really.
That's fine.
Yeah. Just want to
Wayne Allen.
What? Calm down. Right. So we had a few comments on YouTube while we're streaming. And I thought I'd let some of you respond to some of them if you want. Let's see what we got. We got let's see. Right, we've got Kogazor who says, "This is not about being stubbornly negative. It's about having eyes to see. Why try hard to be optimistic about that incoming piece of garbage?" I'd like to pick. I'm going to pick someone to answer. I'd like to have The Big Wolf, please. What do you think about that?
Well, you know, as they say, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So at the end of the day, some people will not like the art direction, or some will. I don't mind it. It's not my taste that much, but I really enjoy KOF gameplay as a fighting game. From what I saw from the second trailer, it is still KOF. Second is, I understand that the game is really far from being done, so there's a lot more work going through it, and I expect to see some progress and some better graphics or for the model, you know, for better animations or lights, shadow, whatever. I'm sure it's gonna look much better than what it looks at the moment. So, as I said, it is like process of making a game. It takes time to get to the final product, and I'm being optimistic. Worst case, it won't look worse than it does now, and I'm going to play it anyway. So yeah.
Bloody fanboy. So yes, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Have you also heard the phrase, "You have shit in your eyes"? But anyway, of course I agree. Well, yeah, I'm not. Well, yeah.
And I'm multiplayer player, so I don't have a moral to talk about KOF 14 graphics.
Oh well, now that's a funny thing you say, because a lot of us, I think, were expecting a kind of anime look for KOF. KOF hasn't really been far from the anime look, and when we heard about 3D, we really thought we would see something like Guilty Gear. We really, am I wrong? Am I right?
It's hard.
Well, basically, this
Hoping
is
or
more your
expecting.
cutesy-
Okay, right, stop. Okay, next time, sorry, I will ask someone, just one person to answer. Okay, right, so, Vin,
Oh. Yo.
go.
I don't have moral to talk bad about KOF 14 graphics because Melty Blood graphics are not updated, just like older KOFs. I just was commentated about that.
Good point.
Yeah. Okay, but what do you think of the current look, though? Sorry, Vin, back to Vin, go
Oh. What I should say?
on. Whatever you like.
Well,
What do you think of the current look? Do you think it looks bad? Does it look good? Do you prefer anime look?
Yes, for the one more time to try something different for 2D are okay-ish. Are okay. Hey, I still have hopes that they can improve in newer builds and correct. Just like, remember, Street Fighter V corrected the faces of Cammy, and Karin became more cuter. So I hope they can fix the models in newer builds, like PlayStation Experience or 2016 events and something like that. And the background graphics are just normal and great and good detailed. Even SNK Playmore is still low tier in modeling. I like it, the newer stage, the stadium one. I fall in love in stadium stages from KOFs, just like Chizuru 96, Stadium in 12, and Rose Arena in 13. So give me the hope for improving the models for newer stages and newer characters. That's all.
Cool. Okay, Lewis, what do you think?
Well, one thing that the 14 models do remind me of strangely is the style of the models in, of all things, Marvel versus Capcom 3. I mean, the game does get a lot, or did get a lot of play, get a lot of use, but when I look at those figures, they feel like oddly lit plastic dolls. I mean, people could argue that that's what KOF 14 is currently looking like, but that hasn't really been a problem for Marvel's popularity. Its fans knew the gameplay from the older games, which had a completely different visual style, and they stuck to the series they like. They found interesting things about the new engine. So hopefully, over time, we can all grow into, if not loving, at least getting used to what we see. There's some interesting design differences there. I mean, I still recall when they first had that partial screenshot of Kyo's head in the employment page. And because of the way the hair is parted, I had this suspicion that that might be Kenso instead of Kyo, in part because of plot events, but I'm a bit of a plot nerd in these things. That's another topic. I mean, I think it's interesting that they are willing to take some risks with the visuals. They have a history with that, and they're respecting that history. New arc, Kyo gets a new change of clothes. But there's something about the way the whole thing is lit. I don't know much about 3D shading, but something about the materials feels more about the way the materials reflect light or handle light feels more uniform across all surfaces than perhaps it should, which gives me a bit of a not feeling there. But even disregarding that, I mean, you ever take some details like the hair and whatnot, Kyo still feels like Kyo. Yori has a new visual apparently based on an old Shinkiro illustration that fits him. It's not that old look with everything hanging out. Looks good on him. I found it particularly interesting that they not only went back to Chang's prisoner look and a more, well, as realistic as Chang gets, but a more realistic look with the whole orange getup. It's a nice return to form for him. But it was interesting that in the back of the suit it said Southtown Jailbreaker. Which is interesting because, I mean, I assume that if Chang were to go back to jail, it would be in Korea, not necessarily an American jail. So I guess, I don't know, maybe he and Choi went over to the to the States, wreaked some havoc, got busted, and now are awaiting repatriation back to Korea or something, and they busted out again. Maybe that's like one of the sub-stories for 14. We'll have to wait and see. But it also reminds me of an interesting detail, because there was a rumor several months back about a supposed leak of the KOF14 cast. That it was pretty weird, and even had this.
That link is from Cyber Fanatics.
Yeah, that's what I reviewed today.
Bring those rumors. It's not just.
I know, but according
Continue.
to this guy on Twitter, Albo Aniki, ALX, and he did mention that list came from the same source, one source that provided some information about the release dates of the trailers, I think. And an interesting thing about the cast list, true or not, is that it had a prisoner team, which is like it's explicitly mentioned prisoner Chang, prisoner Choi, and an original character who was also a prisoner or an escaped convict or something.
Or mentor.
Could be. I mean, I always figured if Chang and Choi teamed up with someone else, it might be, I don't know, Yamazaki, who's also a bit of on the odd side of the law, but who knows? But I don't know if this gives more credence to that list. I mean, one of the teams was really, really weird. It was like Nakoruru, Mui Mui from Dragon Girl Pachinko, and this other girl from Love Heart or something. One of those Pachinko games that referenced Rhythm of Fighters. I don't know if it'll go that far. I mean, it's not entirely impossible because 13 had all those Samurai Showdown and Last Blade cameos.
And Maximum Impact Regulation A and 2 had Hattori Hanzo, but I think it's not the same Hattori Hanzo from Samurai Showdown, but
it's still
the current generation.
It's still something very unlikely, but it's an interesting detail that list explicitly mentioned the prisoner factor. We'll have to wait and see. The Street Fighter guys are having fun with their own pseudo reveals. we'll have we'll have our fun with these. Not too late. Eh, different thing that also comes to mind is the adjustments they made to Leona's outfit. Because it's very small detail, but her top now is more yellowish something, and the pants now have more of a camouflage pattern, like the one you could apply to Ralph on 13. I don't know, those look more like desert colors. I don't know if any new plot developments will involve an area where that's relevant, but I wonder if that's a clue for something. It's also curious to see that in the stages, I mean, the first stage had all those signs and whatnot, and today's stage reveal was also like a big finale public event stage. So I don't know if this, in terms of setting, will be like in 96, 97 that played up the whole famous public televised event. I don't know if that'll set the tone for events in the story or what characters may appear. Curious to see how that develops. I'm sure every new reveal with some luck will provide some insight on how the actual game will end up feeling. Visually, I think that's it for now.
Okay. Okay, thanks for that little brief description. Right. Okay. What was I going to say? Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So cool. Right. Right. Assad, what do you think about? I don't know if you've looked closely. There was a couple of tweets. Oh God, I'm losing my thread. Right. Because you know that we're streaming this, and I was showing the list of rumors on the screen at the time while Lewis was talking.
I had not seen it.
But don't worry about that. You can. Well, I'll show it again in a minute. But while going through the trailer, somebody was tweeting. Let me just see if I can got the pictures somewhere. Yeah, here they are. Somebody tweeted a rather interesting close-up of Leona's model, and I don't know if you can see the YouTube feed right now, but she has rather interesting. Well, yeah. I'm pretty sure I remember. Has Leona always had these proportions? I'm not sure.
Ultimately, it doesn't matter. It's not.
So let Assad please.
Shut a big
answer
ass.
this
Well, Leona's always been quite covered up until KOF12, I would say, because she's usually wearing all her, soldier clothing and all that. But I don't quite seem to mind, any character design changes. I heard, that people think that she looks a little tall and skinny. Again, that's a subjective view, of course. I think she still looks like KOF 12, 13 Leona, just in a 3D model form. Because that's basically what she's gonna look like.
And B button elite.
Yeah, and she's just got a different color now. Before she used to wear like that weird green camo jacket. Then it turned to a green tank top, and now it's turned into a yellow tank top. Not very much different. She still looks like the same Leona that we all know. We could tell that she was Leona the instant we looked at her. So, it's not like they've completely changed her character.
yeah, she still has camo pants, and boots, and gloves. But do you think? Well, okay, I know it doesn't really matter, but the design seems to me to be a little bit more of a kind of revealing to kind of attract a certain audience. What do you think about that?
Well, okay, so that's a subject that KOF is fine with, I think, because of Mai.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. If she's going to exist in this game, then that's going to be another one of the characters. But it's not. It's like I wouldn't mind if a female character or a male character in this game, Leona, let's say for example, now that we're talking about her, is going to be a little more revealing or not. Sure, I would like her to have her old costume back because I'm fond of the older costumes. I'm fond of the older movesets, etc. But it's still quite nice to see what their new designs are going to be, and I personally don't mind whichever way they go. If they'd reveal a little more, maybe, I don't know, they could make her wear shorts or something. But then again, if now we've got 3D models as characters, we can assume that maybe they'll have costumes, and
Ooh.
they could possibly have alternate costumes in the game instead of color changes or something. Over.
Yeah.
Yes, a dangerous idea. Dangerous idea. But I think we'll talk about that in a second, maybe. I think Kogazor would like to say something to start off with.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
So,
What would you like to say?
well, it's just that obviously I kind of disagree with most of what have been said before, in the sense that not everything is subjective. Not everything is a matter of opinion. There are intrinsic qualities about art styles. You can see if an art piece is poor or well done. Then you might like it or not like it. That's a different issue. But here, when I see the animation and I see the art style, I can see this is cheap. It's on the cheap side. So they're doing KOF. The next KOF is on the cheap side. We should be expecting that. And there's no... It's a really bad sign, at least in my sense, in my view. And I don't think it's just a matter of opinion and everything is relative. I don't agree with that.
Well,
Who was that? Who wanted to talk there?
sorry.
How dare you, Assad? How dare you? Go ahead. Respond.
Well, in response to that, of course, well, certainly, I would have thought everything has to be subjective still, because I myself am very fond of graphics in modern games. I basically revel in my PC and like everything to look really, really nice. But when I look at KOF, I think about the gameplay and the mechanics more than I would think about visuals. Sure, we're seeing a lot of jaggies everywhere. There's no anti-aliasing. There's no proper shading, proper shadows. The stages look a little empty, etc. Characters look like they feel they have choppy animation. But again, all of this is work in progress, so we can only hope that it improves from here on out. I would just say to keep an open mind at this point, because it could turn any way. It could turn pretty crap. It could go worse than what it is now, and it could become something really awesome. Over.
Yeah, but the thing is, as you mentioned, all these things point to a low-budget game. It's done on it's poverty, really. And I'm not fixated on the art style or the animation. It's not about that. It means the game as a whole will be on the low side. And actually, I make a difference between. I said it on Twitter the other day. I make a difference between the quality of the art style and the technology per se. Like, to me, old games can look really wonderful simply because the sprites were well done. Then of course they're aging, but I make a real difference between a sprite that's been well done with technical limitations and something that has less technical limitations but is poorly done. And this is what I see now in KOF 14.
Does somebody else want to respond to that?
Yeah, I would like to say something.
Hey! You saw my things, my notes. Yeah, Dragon next, then you.
Sure.
Keep an eye on the comments.
Sure.
Thank you.
Alright, after what Kogazor said, I agree with him. Even, what I said was kind of in line with everybody else, but when I step back and stop being the fan of, I love KOF, it does kind of seem that way. Because if this was any other series, I wouldn't really be giving it so much, I'll be look forward to it. It's work in progress, which is true, but I'd be a bit more critical of it because, of me not having, say, if it was some anime game, I'd be like, oh my days, look, that's terrible, I'd be a bit more. So I agree with what he's saying, because you can have like an opinion of a different art style, but when you see certain, like, say, janky animations, and when you see up close of their faces, it really does look like PS2, PS3, old, like, bad quality game at the moment. So I'm optimistic that it will get better, but I kind of feel sick of saying it now. I'm optimistic is because, I'm really kind of scared for it, because, you're saying about being on the cheap. We hear all this news about China and the Chinese stuff of it, and, China and cheapness kind of go like hand in hand, so we don't know what effect that will have on it, because sometimes it's hard to keep up with what's really going on with SNK, because they're kind of so like mysterious. You just don't know what's going on, and then you just hear that they're officially withdrawing from like pachinko and things like that. So I definitely see what he's saying, where what we've seen so far, we may be just talking about how it looks, but it could reflect other things where, because they're making it on the cheap, corners might be cut here, things that we'll say standard might be missing there. We might get more characters and returning characters, but we might also lose some things because of this cheapness, and maybe doing things to think of like saving money and economy. That's just me thinking just right now. There's literally hardly any information to go on, really. Going back to what someone said about the art style before, we all thought it was going to be either Maximum Impact or say look like a Guilty Gear Exert anime style. I'm kind of glad it didn't follow that, because I don't really like so much of the game, say, not copying each other, because you can take the best bits and make them your own, but I didn't want it to see it change into a full anime game. And in some way I'm kind of glad it's gone 3D, but don't play like Maximum Impact. It plays like KOF 13 and all the rest of them from what we can see. So I'm kind of glad that it looks different to everything. Killer Instinct looks different. They don't all look the same. So I'm glad they didn't just go, right, we're just gonna do Guilty Gear, that's it. They've done something different. Right now it doesn't look like it. There's a lot of talk about it, so we don't know how it turned out, but at least people are talking about it. So yeah, that's all I've got to say about that.
Ludo.
Toby.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I was just taking a few notes. That's why I just saw.
Oh my god.
No, to answer for about because I'm the one who said like I'm not too bothered about the graphics and when it's a gameplay. Through me say I don't like the 3D. I don't really like it. I'm looking at the moment at the screen Alan put there of the game from the trailer. I can't see the background. It's got a lot of details, but I'm most likely they're gonna add characters, people watching the fight like they usually do with most SNK fighters, especially in old KOF. I'm disappointed for the graphical aspect, because when you go back at the history of SNK, when they started in KOF 94, they kind of introduced a new style of sprite art, where characters are a bit more like realistic, not so much anime in the way they were moving, and now it's just like they want a bit of standard about it. They didn't really try hard. I do agree with what was said. But there's still a lot of room for improvement. Like I said, the background looks okay, but we are people in the background. We know that. That's always how they've been doing things. So that's the one thing about that. The art style, like I said, it's going. It will improve. They may probably add light effects. work on the models a bit, probably not much, but like more anti-aliasing and other things like that. So it's mainly the gameplay which will be the key talk, but sadly in 2015 and probably next year, most people focus first on graphics and gameplays like left for last. So no, is it graphics first? No, it's net play first and graphics.
No, come on.
No, it is true.
Others prioritize the online one, but that's another day.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
only fans prioritise the net play.
But yeah, no, I know there's the two priorities nowadays for fighting game is net play and graphics. It's like gameplay is like last in the list, which I'm a bit surprised. So yeah. But to be honest, yes, graphically they could have tried to be harder, but I will keep my judgment till the game is released.
Okay. Does anyone else want to really talk? Say something?
Sorry.
Okay, well, just that about this topic and to have a more global view about the issue. To me, it's sabotage, really, because what SNKP is doing is they're actually destroying their own brand name. They made it in the West with KOF13. They created a KOF that was respected and enjoyed in the West for maybe the first time. It became a mainstream game played at the big events, and they had this chance to capitalize on this and to simply keep on building on what they already accomplished before, and they're doing this instead. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. And Assad, do you want to put in one more thing?
Well, there was a point that Ludo made earlier about 3D models looking kind of not as well animated as you'd be able to exaggerate sprites with. If I would like to point out that KOF 12 and 13 both are based upon 3D models first. So if you look at the sprites that are in KOF 12 and 13, they also have the same kind of movements, because you won't find any exaggeration in many of those movements, because they're all still based off of human-like, actual pivotal, actual bone structure animations. You won't find anything like what's it called, Street Fighter Third Strike, where you can stretch sprites and you can make them look more fluid, because if you choose the correct frames to draw over, they'll still look as smooth as they can ever be. That's why KOF 13 still looks the smoothest animated sprited game.
I'm sorry, but the animations are different. It's just the new animations are poor and the old ones were good. It's different. To me, there's a blatant difference between the quality of the animation. It's not so much the treatment of the sprites afterwards.
Well, we also have to take into consideration several variables. Like, for example, we may, like at the moment, like, I could be like a broken record here, but this is a work in progress anyway. So, if anything, we're either seeing something that's been uploaded that's in a bad quality, and that's not necessarily fault of the game itself, because we may not know until we see the game ourselves. Because as a video editor, I know that there are things on YouTube that make things just look weird, straight up. Even if it's a 60 frame rate video, they just end up looking weird.
I got you. But the thing is, when animation is in progress, you can okay, you will lack intervals, for instance. Yeah, you will see only the keyframes, the main keyframes, but you can already see if the keyframes are good or not. And in this case, I can tell they're not. That's just me.
Fair enough.
All right,
Is it-
let me just get in here. an interesting point about the keyframes and stuff, because back in the day when we were watching videos, they were like, well, between 15 and 30 frames per second, and the current video that we're looking at on SNK's official channel is 60 frames a second, so theoretically we're not really missing anything there. But about, of course, and as everybody's going mad on YouTube right now, why didn't SNK ride the success, as Luna was saying? Why did they not ride the success of KOF13? And for this, I am a broken record, and well, I'm sure everyone else has heard it already, but I'm going to repeat it anyway for those who haven't. The cost of doing all of that rotoscoping, of tracing those models, was prohibitively expensive. Although we all don't really care, we just want to see KOF13 Ultimate Match or whatever, and some new sprites. We don't really care about the cost, but the point is, for them as a business, it was just not the way to go. When you look at Capcom and even Arc Systems, ASW, you know, they're using 3D, and that's the way to go. That's the business model to copy, and that's it. That's the future. So we're all stuck with this.
But it's only true if you have to build everything from the ground up. Like, if you actually want to go 3D, you have to front load the costs, and then afterwards it's really cheap. Whereas 2D is more constant flow of investment. So even in this case, I don't agree too much with that.
Wait, hold on, I don't understand. I thought you just said 3D was cheaper than 2D.
No, 3D you have to front load the costs in 3D. Like it's way expensive at first, and then you have a nice return on your investment. Okay.
Well, yeah, that leads us to our next point. Sorry. But that leads us to our next point, which of course is DLC. And the potential here for DLC is ridiculous, as you said, with a big upfront cost. After that, it's kind of copy paste and shove on some costumes.
Costumes, exactly.
Yeah, so now for a bit more of a light-hearted tone, what DLC are you looking forward to, or would you like to see? And we'll go in the order in the comments, please.
Eternal.
Is it? No, it's not. No. That was for the other thing. No, the original order up here. So it's Lewis, Ludo, Vin, Dragon, Assad, and then Kogazor, please.
Luis.
It's my turn now. Like I was mentioning in the comments now. That's the thing. I mean, SNK historically has been about taking dumb but interesting risks. I mean, sometimes it doesn't work, but they keep trying until they get it right. I mean, if you look at, for example, the history of the Fatal Fury games, I mean, the controls, the collision was odd, but they kept making them. Every other game they changed the system completely until they reached a few design principles that worked out for that and another series. I mean, right now the concern is with the graphics. It's a completely different discipline and one they're not very experienced with. But by now they know gameplay-wise what can work. You know, I don't know about the whole staff, but at least the new director. He has Yuki Oda, and he's been with them since '93. While at SNK, he worked mostly with the Fatal Fury side of things. So he may have been privy to some of that learning process, and may have picked up a few things at Inch as well. So there are quite a few years of interesting lessons there that will hopefully be, of course, the visuals will still be a problem, and it's a problem how the company as a whole didn't squeeze as much success and promotion out of the game, out of 13 as they could. I mean, I tried to look up some time ago possible companies that may have licensed stuff related to KOF 13, and the only one I found was these guys make card games. Well, ultimate universal fighting system, I believe. And they at some point licensed had these KOF13 themed cards. SNK Playmore has been so out of touch with their audience and ways to promote their stuff that apparently at one point the guy in charge of the company that made those card games, Jasco Games, he thought they had closed down. They no longer have an office outside Japan, or at least outside Asia. So,
DLC.
okay, but moving forward, I mean, they could have explored the very rich IP they have, history of characters and outfits, stuff in the games, stuff in illustrations, in spin-offs. All that could have fed into. It could have kept people aware of those things, but they didn't. You know, that could have helped a lot with the whole DLC thing. I mean, if you look at stuff like Tekken, a recent example, Tekken Tag Tournament, I believe they've referenced outfits from older games. They even have this one Kunimitsu bikini outfit that's based on an old 3D illustration back from Tekken 2 or Tekken Tag Tournament 1. And they have the potential now to, well, not only to come back to the news, the fighting game news with these video releases and whatnot, but also after the release of the game with DLC and whatnot. But they're not. They've missed out some interesting chances to spread their word, you know. But I just hope at this point that in their experimenting with 3D and 3D models, they figured out a way to at least make these models easy enough to modify, to make alternate outfits that are interesting enough, not just mostly color and texture swaps like the ones in MI2. Potential some good variety there, but I don't know. Have to wait and see what they actually achieve with the default models and how many of them we'll actually have.
Okay, cool. So what one piece, give me one piece of DLC you would like to see.
Ooh, that's hard. Well, I have to base myself on what's already available, but now, one thing that would be interesting, they'll probably won't do it, but I'd like to see Leona with her current pants, but the top from the 2D games.
Yeah, no, I'm up for that. Yeah.
That'd be cool. I guess, and I guess the old outfits for Kyo and Yori. I mean, I really like the Yori's outfit from 12 and 13. I didn't like his old one with sleeves and shirt and everything hanging out. I mean, that was a nice, elegant take, kept the spirit of the character. This new model does that too. So it'd be nice to see those old outfits back, you know, and interesting principles from old games and illustrations. Neat. I'd put my cash in there.
Cool. Right, next.
Ludo?
Yep.
Yeah. So I was using that DLC. Most likely, hopefully, we're gonna get like extra characters. Now, what would be nice would be characters from, you know, other game, other franchise they have, other IPs. Like, you know, character from Mark of the Wolf or Fatal Fury, or character from another game which may not be. What they have so many games, so it could be anything like Kizuna Encounter, Super Tag Battle. You know, they can't get any guest character from any game like they did in KOF 11. Like, if they put their DLCs that could bring some interesting, you know, having more people in the game, or like refreshing again with characters, new mechanics. You're thinking about Gaetando in KOF11. We didn't play anything like any other characters. So that was an interesting idea when they put it on. We're most likely going to see like DLC costumes because it is 3D. So I think everyone knows that colors of costumes. So we see that. It would be nice to have new stages as well. But yeah, hopefully they will do that just to make more money.
Okay, so what do you want then?
Yeah, I want like characters, like original, interesting characters. Like
Give me one.
Hayate. There we go.
Okay. All right, next.
Yo, I kind of wanted new characters too, especially for older characters that's not related to the newer arc, just to not screw up the story. I think like Psyche, Ash Crimson, Bob Dead, or Roshi Team, but I don't know what they can bring these characters as DLC. What I wanted to is to make the game upgradable, bringing a newer rebalance or bringing a season 2, just like Killer Instinct and Mortal Kombat X, something like that.
Okay, wait. You want a rebalance as DLC?
Yeah, kind of Blaze Blue CS2, but upgradable and not needing a newer disc just to play the rebalance. But that's okay. It depends of SNK. I can't predict what they will do in 14.
Okay.
Dragon?
Well, I could say characters, costumes. That's everyone's kind of said that. Everyone sort of wants that. One character I would like to see is Rugal and Rock. Even if they're dead in story, I just want them to be in the game. I love them. But some other sort of DLC, which I would like to see, is something that would help with that the tournament scene, or running tournaments. I remember playing, I think it was Soul Calibur 3 back in the day, and you could have this mode where you could set up your own tournament, and it kind of runs it for you with how many brackets you want. So I would like them to see and do something different, because even something like Dead or Alive advertises tournaments in games. We saw the leaks with Street Fighter 5, and they have they're calling out events. So I like DLC not to just be everything we expect: characters, stages, costumes. We all know that. Well, hopefully, if they're smart, they'll do that, because KOF's got such a rich history. Why would you just leave those forever in the past when stages and soundtracks? Everyone loves them. Like Tekken tunes, and like in DOA, you can change the music on any stage. I think that really needs to be more common in a lot of fighting games. You can customize the soundtrack from old ones, from current ones, or remixes, maybe some fan ones. Just make the game feel like it's alive. Don't make it feel like it died as soon as it's released. Like someone before me mentioned Killer Instinct having a season 2. It kind of like revitalizes it rather than just put it out. And you can put DLC packs out here and there, but if you have like a new launch, you don't have to call it Super KOF 14, but just refresh it. So I like to see DLC that have more like modes as well, something that appeals to like tournaments, the competitive scene, things that help benefit running it. And one thing I really want, just to wrap it up, to have something like Tekken tunes. Upload your own soundtracks, put it on there, put old KOF soundtracks on all the different stages, just have it all remixed so you can do that. That's what I would love.
Okay, cool.
So, like Vin suggested.
Right, who's listening to this on their phone or something?
I don't know. Someone. So to start off, I would like to say I actually absolutely despise paid DLC. It just implies that there were things that needed to be cut out, and until they got the funding, they then push it back forward. But despite my hate of DLC, I would probably like the best thing that's been mentioned here is, like Vin said, the upgrades, the balances, the changes. They should
With
be,
a pack, new season pack with newer characters and something like that.
yeah, they shouldn't come in another version of the game. So it, like Eternal Dragon also agrees, there shouldn't be another sort of ultra super turbo edition of KOF that you have to purchase at full price again. It should be like the upgrade that happened from Super Street Fighter 4 to Ultra Street Fighter 4, where you just had to pay an upgrade price, and you'd get a different system, and you'd get a newer system. Of course, there are difficulties with that. You know, people who would have an older version wouldn't be able to play with anyone else anymore. They would have to update, and people don't like mandatory updates. You know,
Or maybe-
Killer
such
Instinct
things.
does that pretty good.
Maybe if they do that, they should create an option to choose a room with a specific version, just like Ultra Street Fighter does, and the first BlazBlue Continuous Shift does, having a older version room and something like that.
Yeah, so that would be the kind of DLC that I would be willing to pay for, because it would be an improvement to the game itself. Because, like, for example, you know, everyone can have costumes and characters and etc. etc. KOF 13 was the first KOF game that I played which had paid DLC, and it annoyed me so much because it didn't feel like a KOF game when the instant we saw DLC, I was like, I've never seen this in KOF games. Why is this happening? Because if you had secret characters in previous KOF games, you had to import. You know, there used to be a community which would suddenly find out that there's a secret code, and you can unlock this character by doing up, down, left, right, BA start, entering the Konami code on the screen. And you'd have like EXQ or something, or Orochi, or, you know, Orochi Chris, Orochi Shermie, etc. I would like that kind of thing rather than DLC, but again, like I said, if it had to be DLC, I'd much rather prefer what Vin said about having upgrades as DLC than having extra characters or extra costumes or extra stages, because they should already be part of the full completed game. Over.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, if they, the funny thing, of course, is if they release a game with DLC and it's going to be online, then really the DLC needs to be on the disc already. Otherwise, you're going to have to force everyone to upgrade so that the game can have those characters so you can play online with them. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. Has everyone... No, I've missed one guy. Right, Kogazor, go.
Yeah, Kogazor.
Kogazor.
JP.
JP,
JP.
should we skip?
JP.
He got out.
He's gone out. Could have left a message.
Not just okay. Fair enough.
Right, fine. He had a chance. He could have left a message. Geez, there's a comment thing there, you know. Right, okay. Right. Where was it?
Let me just. Well, you guys carry on. I'll be back in a few seconds. Right.
Okay, right, fine. Well, thanks for telling us. Okay, right. So we're talking about DLC. Just quickly going through the comments. I think there was a couple of things there on the YouTube comments. Oh, right. Okay, so just quickly, I'm going to ask you if you would like to see Oswald back in a game, and keep it brief. Let's go in the order, please.
Just Oswald. I'd be fine with that, but I think I'd prefer to see Vanessa come back. Or...
I wonder why. Cool. Next.
Fine by me. I like Oswald. I like to watch good Oswald players.
Yeah, so
Next.
me too. I would love to see Oswald again. Probably a bit fixed compared to 11, but yeah. Next.
Who's next? The Vin, yeah. Dragon, you there?
Oh, sorry, I thought it was the other guy. Yeah, I like to see him back. I think he's pretty slick guy. I like his gameplay and I like the way he fights. So I'd love to see him back.
Okay. Assad? Assad? Okay. Oh yeah, he went out, didn't he? What am I talking about? I'm talking to a blank thing. Right, okay, fine. And Kogazor's having issues. Alright, fine. So, okay, well, most of us want to see him back. Considering that a lot of people wanted him to come back up, yeah, I never really played him in 11, but he looks quite skanky and interesting, I suppose. So why not?
Mix-up.
Mix-ups and cards everywhere, projectiles.
Yeah. Overhead and low tap, and you can't block because you block low, you get hit overhead. Yeah. You block high, you get hit by the low tap. So yeah, it was quite interesting character.
Oh, great! That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, I love that kind of thing. Yeah, great. Yeah, setups, everything. Right, Assad, what do you think
Of?
of bringing back Oswald?
I've honestly never played that character.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I stopped playing KOF at 2003, and since then every KOF I saw was... It looks terrible. So you know how JP Kogazor has the sense of, I'm looking at KOF 14 and it looks like something that I don't want to play. That's what it happened with my KOFs. So a lot of characters in the middle I've missed out, so unfortunately I don't know about Oswald. KOF 13 was the first one after a long time that I've gone back to, and yeah, so I don't really know much about Oswald.
Funnily enough, I'm actually kind of in a similar kind of school there. I kind of stopped playing after KOF 2003. Really, I was like, yeah, no. And then 11, yeah, tag fighting, no. But the funny thing, of course, is now 11 is having a bit of a rebirth in some areas of London. Shout outs to Sendo and the crew down there. I should
City crew, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll put some links to advertise what's going on there. Yeah, I've been meaning to get round to that actually. So yeah, it's a good game, and in Japan, of course, when I went down there, I was like surprised people are still playing that. I'm like, what are you doing, mate? But yeah, they still play. It still gets rinsed. So Kogazor, what do you think?
Yeah. So about DLCs.
Oh, the rain!
I don't care about DLCs. I don't like them. I think they're a mess. They're annoying everyone in tournaments when you go play at the friend's place. So I'm not interested into this DLC topic.
Okay, and what do you think about Oswald?
I like Oswald. I've never been big on playing 11, but I think it's a cool character.
Okay, so but you wouldn't like to pay for him though if he was DLC.
I'm conflicted when it comes to DLC because I think it's a system that's valid and can be interesting, but the way it's being used by the industry right now, it's just a mess. And
that's true.
It's just like they're selling you the game in pieces where they could perfectly. They're not really extending the game there, and it's not even DLC anymore. It's just unlocking something that's already on your disc. So where's the DLC?
Yeah, it's a good argument, that one, and hard to defend. But I might sound like a fanboy when saying this, but if anyone needs the money, it's SNK.
I would completely support SNK if they were. Yeah, but when I see what they're doing right now, this is just like an insult to every KOF fan. That's my opinion.
No. Understood. Yeah, I mean, we've heard not the greatest news about SNK recently, and it was quite interesting. I say that without any kind of tone, but when we heard first of all that the president was saying, "Yeah, we're going to turn SNK fighters, all the players, into pachinko fans."
They failed.
Yeah, we were like,
And
what?
Pachinko Detector died.
The only thing that they managed to do with Pachinko was get us hyped after showing their CG animation.
Yeah, hyped is maybe the wrong word. More like really upset, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, look at this! Oh, it's not
Just
KOF, it's
the
Pachinko.
Konami trailers for Pachinko versions of their series. They were upset of the new Castlevania Pachinko was a Pachinko.
Yeah.
Oh, and not in an actual Castlevania game, like the sexual violence and something like that. But that's another thing.
Yeah, but when
Now,
that happened,
Konami is the king, and Konami is now the king of Pachinko, not SNK Playmore.
well, SNK's had their run, they had their fun, they had plenty of titles, and hopefully they made some money off that. But it was funny when Konami fans were like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Welcome to our world." Yeah. Okay. So, just one thing. If you can see the screenshot of YouTube right now, you notice on
I
the back
see
of
right
Chang. Yeah. What does that make you think about? I know you mentioned it earlier. Who mentioned that earlier? Who was talking about the breaker thing on the back?
I think that was me.
Okay. So, is there any other thing that makes you think about?
Chang Choi got off the prison and got an uprising to Kim. And something like that. It could be interesting. He and Choi revolting against Kim after years of humiliation. I mean rehabilitation, and being changed to Raiden and Hua and 13. But I don't know. I just have to wait and see what SNK will tell the reasons about Chang Choi be using the prisoner uniforms in the tournament.
Okay, but does breaker make you think of anything else?
Yeah, more violent than costume.
Yeah, anything else?
Breaker's Revenge?
Yeah, the big elephant has spoken. Yes, it's Breaker's Revenge. And if we go with the rumor of the prisoner team, it could be interesting. But the question is,
Mizoguchi? No, wait, that's different.
yeah, whatever. Who cares? They'll
But
find
he's
some way to
not
put him in.
a jailbreak. Mizoguchi is not a jailbreak.
And chaos goes wild. Chaos breaks loose inside the chat room. Okay. Right. Let's just do something for fun. Right, go through the order. I'm going to ask you, who do you think it could be from the Breaker's Revenge series? And if you don't know any of the Breaker's Revenge characters, it doesn't matter. Just pass it over. So, let's go through the order. What do you think?
Breaker's Revenge. I mostly remember like the Shotos. I think they had this guy with the swords. That gigantic woman. I think there was also an Egyptian guy, and there's also this girl Tina, whatever. I have no clue. But I don't know. I think SNKP has more of a history with the fighter's history. I think I prefer seeing someone from
He
that
got
return.
from Data East.
Yeah.
And Breakers is from Visco. But Visco is so obscure, I don't know if the
they haven't-
SNK could get the right to use Breakers characters.
Well, it's probably
Just my
cheap by
imagination.
now.
Just my imagination.
All right, but Lewis, which character do you think would fit with Chang and Choi?
Daolong?
Mm,
I
That
think
doesn't sound like,
Daolong
that
is
doesn't sound like
Uh,
Lewis. That doesn't
that
sound
big
like Lewis
woman,
talking.
Rila. I think Rila, the big muscly woman.
Okay.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Very good.
She could
Right.
be of the women's prison yard easily.
Okay. Hey, Eternal Dragon's got to run off in a second. So let us know what do you think, Eternal Dragon?
I'm not familiar with that game with his characters.
You sure you don't remember Hayate? I think isn't Hayate from Breakers? I'm not really familiar with it myself.
No, not unfortunately. Sorry.
That's all right. Never mind. Anyway, well, thanks for coming to the chat. So we'll see you probably another time.
Yeah. See you later, guys. Nice chatting to you. I'm out.
Cheers, man.
Bye.
Laters.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Later.
let's see. So Ludo, what do you think?
Tia Langray would be a good addition. But Rila as well could be fun.
Okay, cool. Vin,
Yo,
who do you
Yeah.
think?
I think Daolong is a kind of character that could be a bad guy later, but I don't know. Maybe he could be not a Breaker's Revenge character, just imagination.
Yeah, sure. It's just for fun, just for speculation. You know, we're just making conversation.
But that's okay. Next.
Okay.
Well, I've never actually played the Breaker's Revenge games. But I mean, if we are to talk about what character from that series, first of all, is that series even in the same sort of verse?
No, probably not. No.
Because I would understand if they were to bring characters from Fatal Fury in, or Art of Fighting in, or Metal Slug, or something like they've done with Theo in the past. And was it Maximum Impact 2? I think. That
No,
Theo was
Regulation
actually a
A
playable
with
character.
Mitsuguchi. Regulation A.
Well, I'm not too sure where it was, but I believe Theo was a playable character in one of the Maximum Impact games, so I can understand that kind of situation where they
Mizoguchi.
might bring over, if they had to bring over from another game, they would bring over that. But if Breaker's Revenge is something that's sort of in that same verse, I don't know who the developers are. I don't
Visco.
even know.
It's an Italian small developer, and for some kind of mysterious thing, the game got published by SNK.
Okay, so that's the connection then. Okay.
A rare connection, but okay.
So that okay, fair enough. So I see that's where you're getting the, what if there was a Breaker's Revenge? Okay, well, seeing as I don't know then any of the
Breaker's
characters,
Revenge
I
is
can't-
a rebalance from Breakers, 2 years later after the first release. Okay, it's kind of the same game, but have one more character, Saizo, a ninja.
So I wouldn't be able to contribute to who could possibly be the contender for the third party member. In fact, we're assuming here that this is going to be a 3v3. I mean, I know the interview said, yeah, I'm a fan of 3v3 fighters, and we can hope that this game still has 3v3.
It's
teams.
not Maximum Impact, just
and
normal thing of lower cast during the test periods, and later they will add and have a fixed teams and not no fixed teams like 12.
So well, if it was 3v3, I would like them to stay away from KOF11 completely, because KOF11 is Marvel, and it should be typical 3v3 like Art of Fighting, like KOF 94, 95. Although not locked to teams, you should be allowed to change whoever you want, whatever you want, but it should still be a 3v3. So with that assumption, of course we're saying that. But again, like I say, I wouldn't be able to contribute to who possibly could come from Breaker's Revenge. That's the end of that.
Okay, cool. Right, is that everyone? No, it's Kogazor.
Yeah. Well, I think you cannot mix Breaker's Revenge with KOF, because one series is like the design of Breaker's Revenge, the character design is really bland and uninspired, whereas KOF has one of the best charismatic design ever. So
And I suppose that Breaker's Revenge is a plagiarized Street Fighter 2.
yes,
That's the rumor.
but at the same time, I think Breakers is a wonderful game because it plays so well. But in any
And
case,
it's a different archetype from other SNK games for a Neo Geo.
yeah. But in any case, I would like Tia, of course, because that's my main. KOF needs more Rabbit Gale.
I like that little comment about for a Neo Geo.
All right, cool. Okay. Now, just looking at the screenshot again, it's a bit confusing as to which Iori we have here. We've
Yes,
seen
not the
Kyo
game.
in KOF11, and he had a mix. He was like pretty much ultimate Kyo. He had flames and wreckers. Now, this Iori, we've seen him do a fireball, which is really a ground fiery thing, not a ball. But we've also seen the strange slashes all over the place, and we've seen the Neomax. So, what do you think this could mean? Let me ask this question to... I haven't heard you speak for a while, Ludo.
Yeah, well, you know what? It could be like they did with the KOF11. KO had like all the moves. So it could be that he got fireball, he got recas, he got claw attacks. We never know. Or it could just be that the game is not finished. they just show things. That's what it is. That could be only those two options, in my opinion. So if it's the same character, the same model doing different moves, either they try to make a a Yuri with everything in the past, from the past. So that would make quite an interesting character. Otherwise, like I said, it's just like they did that for the teaser to show attacks and stuff.
Yeah, if we follow the storyline, well, I suppose I'll let Lewis talk about this bit. What do you think? Lewis? Lewis? No?
About the
No?
integration with the new titles.
Eh?
It's about Iori Neomax.
But Yuri, yeah, I did like her when they basically took Rekka's Kyo and added a projectile. So I mean,
So what do you think we're going to get in this one?
I mean, I guess they could re-emphasize the kind of combos Claw Yuri was capable of, while still giving him the flame classics. I mean, it could be that I actually don't recall this by memory. Did he ever pull off Did Yuri ever pull off his own Rekka? Because I could see that being replaced. I mean, everything that doesn't use flames getting replaced with claw moves.
I don't
Everything that doesn't serve
remember.
the same purpose.
I'm not sure, but I do remember. I mean, well, you've seen the super move. Well, yeah, it's always the same in both versions. But if we
Yeah,
think
but I mean,
about the storyline, then remember that. Well, for the end of 13, it's got to go one way or the other. Either he gets his powers back or he doesn't. No? What do you
It
think?
does. Mostly it does.
That
He does, but that's the thing. You learn to fight without. You at least got used to not using the flames. You can do it now. So
Not
I
the
could
flames.
imagine him only keeping the specials that use the flames, like projectile, his uppercut. Everything else, perhaps using a variation on the claw moves.
Mix and matching the moves from Claw and the Flame Iori. I think
seems
it's possible.
Yeah, it's
I
possible.
just want to add something for the story. Is that the Claw Yuri is actually his style, his fighting style from his clan. Like Kusanagi got their own fighting style. So that's why he's using flame because he got the Orochi power, not because that's his style.
Okay. Ah, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it could be just a culmination of both styles, like KOF 11 Kyo. And now he's just overpowered and should be banned from all tournaments.
Or just give him an EX version, which could
Yeah.
be a DLC.
Yes, exactly. Or it could be that as well. And we're actually seeing two versions in the trailers, which is quite cheeky, but there you go. Right.
You know what they could do
Yep.
actually? They could be two characters with two different movesets.
Could be an EX version.
Yeah, like exactly. That's
no Mortal Kombat 10, please.
It's not Mortal Kombat 10, that's KOF 98, where you
Pretty
all
much.
character select and you
Yeah.
start and you will get a different Rio, Robert, Yuri.
If you talk
Terry.
about advanced
Yep.
and what you call it, extra modes,
No, not that.
Alternate.
Alternate characters.
what?
Yeah, remember in
oh,
'98?
It's not
EX
about
characters.
extra gauge.
You mean
No.
EX characters? Yeah.
No, the characters, man. If you hold start, you'd get.
Yes, those are EX characters.
Yeah. God, imagine if we had to pay for those.
Well,
I think we're going to have to
my
pay for
opinion
those.
on that would be, first of all, I mean, I was hoping, because of the lore and the plot of how KOF13 went, I was hoping that they were going to take a completely different route. I thought they were going to change the entire story. Kyo wouldn't be a good guy anymore. Iori wouldn't be a bad guy anymore. You know, it'd be different. But of course, they're still sort of keeping it the same, which is fine. You know, I'm all good with that. I like it. Kyo's still a good guy. Nice.
How do you know that?
Yeah. What? What was that? Sorry.
How do you know that?
Well, actually, I don't. Good point. Good point. I don't know that. But regarding that, then, maybe. Well, actually, Iori's flame is purple, so he is a bad guy. We know that.
It's Kai Hero.
Okay. And yeah, Kyo's is still a red flame, so he's still a good guy. But yeah, I would have liked to see, because Iori seems to have more claw movement in his moves from that little teaser, from what we saw. So I would have thought that this would be like a combination of Claw Iori and classic, Flame Iori. I would probably prefer if he still had a fireball that went on the ground.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I would like.
I remember that. I don't know, maybe just my impression, but I remember that Yuri did his round fireball in one of teasers.
Yes, he did.
Something like that.
Yes, that was the first teaser.
Yeah. So
So.
blame Yuri confirmed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I suppose that's a good point. Blame Yuri confirmed. What I wouldn't like is EX characters, like someone mentioned. I do not think that's a good idea in any game ever. If you're going to have one character, leave it as one character, because it almost feels like Hua is an EX Joe. We've got Mr. Karase, who is an EX Takuma. We've got EX Kyo. We've got EX Yori. We've had EX Terry. We've had EX Blue Mary. They just because people just end up using them instead.
Well, I just want to reply
Because
to that. Please,
So yeah, go ahead.
it's gonna be short. Some of the character you name, the EX version play nothing like the actual character. So in that aspect, I'm not saying all of them, but some were playing. You have to use the character a different way because it wouldn't have the same tools. So I don't really call that with EX to save our work. So you make a new character, you can still reuse assets, and you get a new gameplay with the same assets. So, but yeah, that's just what I wanted to add.
Yeah, I mean, well, they did play completely differently, but they ended up being the better versions of the same character in most cases. EX Blue Mary ended up being way better than her normal version. Chris in KOF 97, the EX Chris, which is Orochi Flame, the purple thing, he ended up being way better than the normal version. Shermie ended up being way better than normal version. All the EX characters so far from KOF histories have ended up being way better in terms of gameplay, and they've just raised a tier by themselves just because of the fact that they are EX and they've just made them a little more powerful. And I don't want that to happen because I want the originals to stay as they are, so that people would play the originals more rather than they just pick EX characters.
Yeah, I
because
see what you mean. I see what you mean. But there are some EX characters that weren't overpowered, but just had a different style, like Blue Mary and well, this is only in 98 UM, but there was the real bout version of Blue Mary, which was very different because She didn't really have the same kind of anti-airs and stuff. It was much more interesting to have that. But of course, now that if I have to pay for that, that's going to be a bit annoying. And I really hope that they go with the model of at least having some DLC characters on the disc where you can unlock them rather than paying for them, and only if you're really just bored and have loads of money, you could just skip the grinding and pay for them. I really like that one. I appreciated that.
I have a good idea about that, but well, it may not be good actually. Who knows? I've always imagined a KOF sort of side-scrolling beat 'em up with KOF 13 sprites. Maybe they could have like mini games, like the mission trial modes that they have in KOF 13. They could have something that sort of keeps you busy when you're not playing online. To be challenging enough, like you say, to unlock characters, because Alan here would like, to be able to unlock those same characters that are already on disc, and I think there should be an entertaining way for the game to allow you to do that. Of course, trials would work the same way as well, because they're very challenging as well. If someone completes level 10 of Dual Launch Trials, they're gonna cheer like hell.
Yeah, that's quite tough. Have you guys actually had a look at Metal Slug Defense? Have you played it on your smartphone? If you have one.
Every day almost.
Yeah, that's the reason why I deleted it. But the system is ingenious. I don't know if this is like the standard now for a lot of other games, but the way you can unlock and buy DLC characters, you don't have to. You can pay for them if you want, or you can do a couple of chores, and in that way, I mean, you can watch a video or install another application or click something or whatever, and it will earn you medals, which you can use as the in-game currency to unlock DLC characters. Now, I don't really want to give that many ideas to SNK, but I noticed with other games such as Grand Theft Auto, they have phone applications that can link to the game to do stuff. So that could be another way.
Well, so you mean in the sense that if they started to involve the mobile side of it, I don't think I'd quite like that idea. But I thought you meant in the sense that old school games still had those, chores to go through to unlock stuff in the game. They just now they have that alternative for people if they want to spend their real money to unlock the stuff without.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. But I mean, there are options. So you can obviously just pay for it. You could grind it in the game, or you could do something on your phone application. And I think that would be good to have lots and lots of options, rather than just being forced to pay for something. So in the chat, I'm seeing a lot of people. Not sure if they're complaining or just talking, but they're mentioning about which console they had to buy to play KOF. Can everyone tell me what console you have in order, please?
I had.
In order, please.
Sorry.
Currently a PS3, although I didn't bring that with me to the Netherlands. So, but if it comes out while I'm still here, might get the PS4 here for 14. We'll see.
I had the older fat PS3 about in 2010 just to play BlazBlue Continuous Shift because my PC did not run the PC RIP and I don't trust PC releases. So, but my PS3 died 1 year later and I got Xbox 360 to play KOF 13. But in next year I got a newer PS3 to play other anime games, and then if I wanted to play KOF, I played in 360. But I sold my Xbox and currently I got the PC version of 13 thanks to getting a code in Kings of Colorado giveaway.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
But for 13, I still indecisive about getting a PS4 because I don't like the system per se. But maybe after, if they reveal more good fighting games for it, I can decide to buy that console. Next.
Okay. Well, on my side, I got what, PS3, Xbox 360. I got KOF13 on both. I could get it on PC, but I'm a bit reluctant. And yeah, but I do play 98 UM and 2K2 UM on PC as well. And I will get a PS4. I will get a PS4 for KOF14.
Okay, Assad?
Oh, okay. I just had no indication whether or not it was over.
Okay.
So I currently still own a PS3, which I've not gone back to. I mean, I thought I'd go back to it if Steam KOF13 failed me. But I still have the PS3. I have a PS4, so I'm quite looking forward to playing KOF14 on it. And I still have a gaming PC, so all the platforms that I could possibly have at the moment.
Okay.
As for me, I got a PS3. I bought a 360 for the online for KOF, which was not the best idea. And I got a PC, obviously. And actually, I'm really happy every time a fighting game comes out on the PC, because it's like a generic platform, and I'd rather have every game on PC than on console.
Generic?
I mean, you see what I mean, don't you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Not really, but okay.
But it's not generic in the sense that every PC differs, but every PC is compatible.
Yeah, that was generally the problem with that, but but it's, in a way, it's more accessible for everyone. If some people can't afford a PS4, they can afford a PC in some cases. But the fact that everyone's PC is slightly different has caused a whole lot of problems.
We still don't trust the release window for PC versions of fighting games. Even now, Axis is releasing Chrono Phantasma Extend not 2-3 years after the console version. That was a surprise. Nice.
Well, if people are still sort of negative about buying consoles, I noticed via a link from a Steam friend that the PS4s now are going down in price to such a degree that, and this is not even in what you call it, sale times. So sales are actually about to come soon in December, and January and February, when everything's going to go down. Yeah, exactly. Sales are going to be everywhere, and already I'm seeing PlayStation 4s which are about £280. That's quite cheap for anything. So if somebody was to go and want to buy a PC just to play the specific game that they can also get on a console, I'm quite sure at this point in time they'd be able to get a stable version of their game on a console, because console would have had more work put to it, for much cheaper, because of the fact that right now PlayStation, I don't know about Xbox One, I haven't done the research yet, but at least I know for PlayStation 4 it's going down in price, and probably will go down more in the close future. So if anyone's looking to buy the PS4s, now would be the time, especially for KOF14, which will be coming next year. But of course, it's up to the person. So.
Okay, I think that's a big discussion to have another time. Just want to say thanks to Ludo, Dobik Wolf, for coming to the chat. He's got to go now.
Oh.
I think he's gone.
Hello?
Hello?
Ludo, are you gone?
No, he's gone.
Yeah, sorry, no, I mean.
Oh, you're there. Is there anything you want to say before you go?
Yeah, well, can't wait for December to see the game in action.
Yeah, actually, I'll let you speak for just the last thing to start, because the last thing I wanted to speak about today actually was the gameplay. What do you think about the gameplay? Looking at the trailer so far.
Whereas the trailer show overhead console with Leona, it's like yes, that's the normal thing she should do. So it looks like it is the same thing as a previous KOF. The combo with Yuri and Kyo is like you see the movement, you see the type of moves, like the gameplay looks exactly like a KOF. So that's interesting. That shows that they actually got that right. And I can't wait to see what kind of things they're gonna add to that, like kind of tweaks they're gonna make it, or they're gonna insert to get a different version compared to previous games. So yeah.
Okay. So thanks for coming in, and we'll see you later. Okay.
See you around.
All right. So Lewis, go for it.
To finish things off,
Well, not really. Well, just to talk about the gameplay.
well, what I did, well, they didn't show very long combos, but they did show some stuff that's elaborate enough to be interesting, like sort of the lower half of the of the 13 trials, perhaps a bit slightly below that, which should keep things interesting, create some interesting situations there, keep a familiarity factor with the gameplay. Although I wonder if the lack of bars on the videos means that when they finally do show live bars and other things, that'll hint at some interesting gameplay elements that we haven't seen before in the series. I mean, every KOF had something new or different enough to the mix. So I'm curious to see what that'll be in this one.
Come on, December, hurry!
True.
All right, Vin. What do you want to say?
As I said before, the game is, for gameplay, have a KOF DNA, so I can dig it. I know that it's still early and just show the fewer part of the gameplay, and we will only just see the full system of the game in December in PS Experience. So hurry up, December. I want to see the system next.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching that. Oh, actually, I can't see it live, can I, Alan? What you're showing on the YouTube video, so I won't be able to.
You could if you really wanted to.
Is it able to share on this?
Well, yeah, we're streaming now, so I can just replay the whole thing if you want.
Oh no, that's fine then. That's fine then. What I noticed in a few gameplay moments there is the first thing, which is the most important thing about having KOF, is that I like it to be 2D on a 2D plane, rather not 2D as in everything 2D, drawn everything, but on a 2D plane. So even if it is 3D models, I want it to be on a 2D plane, and that's what it looks like. A lot of people were negative about that from the first teaser because it looked like it was a 3D plane that everyone would be able to just rotate around in a circular environment. That's not the case. I will praise that to the end of days. What we saw that was interesting was that Kyo went from a crouching C into down forward D, and then he went into a Rekka. That to me is very interesting because, well, yeah, that's quite something. We've seen his jump down C.
Yeah. Hello? I think he was mid-sentence there.
Down, be quad down.
Yeah. Man down. Okay. I think he's got an issue there, but we'll come back to him. Okay, JP?
Yeah, well, I think it's way too early to make comments about the gameplay. I'm quite happy they apparently decided to make it a fixed 2D plane, but otherwise it's pure speculation. I'm not too interested into speculation.
Okay, but what would you prefer?
What would I prefer?
Hmm.
Well, I really
Something
love...
something new, or do you want the old style of KOF?
I'm happy if they continue with what they did on 13. 13 is like a nice synthesis of everything they've done before. So they just maybe need to tweak that. I praise the transition that Guilty Gear made from their old 2D to the new 3D system, because it really feels like you're playing a 2D game. So I certainly hope for something similar.
Okay, right. I'm just going to offer this up to the guys on the chat, since not here, so we're going to ask them about what you think about the fighting system. Because, of course, the big question a lot of people have been asking is whether the game needs to be easier to attract a bigger audience. So it's the big eternal question. So let's go round the table. Lois, what do you think?
Well, personally, if they drop the long hyperdrive combos, something like that, that would be a good sign. And which actually reminds me, today I saw this video about the gameplay speed, and it actually at one point compared how the same combo was executed in 13 to the version we saw on the 14 demo. And to simulate the 14 combo, the guy used the 13's hyperdrive mode. And if something like that is not necessary in 14, well, at least to me, that's an appealing factor. The game being a bit less, well, maybe not less combo centric, but not having this mode where combos dominate and are the core of the experience.
Yeah, at least he did not get an aura in HD aura to make this long combo.
Could be a factor. I mean, I think in the first trailer, Yori didn't use those slashing effects, but now he does. I don't know if something like that would apply to special mode issues. But anyway, I do hope that they don't make it as too combo intensive like 13 was, because at one point that dominated tournaments. I mean, I like that 13 let you use the same bar either for the big hyperdrive combos or just for the regular special cancels. I mean, I'm not a big combo guy. I like to be able to use half the bar just to cancel a special into a different one and still do something useful. While for example, in 2002, I think if you use a stock not for a super, it was only for that combo-centric mode that the game had. So if it leans towards something more lenient, well, I like 13, but without going as overboard as we saw 13 being at high tournament level, where the first guy who lands the big combo is more likely to take the round. Well, that will keep things more interesting. I prefer a bit more tension, having fewer hits, count more, you know.
Okay, yeah, okay. Just reading out some comments, and sorry, Assad, I completely forgot to say yes, you can respond to comments, but I didn't really give you a chance to do it, so I'll let you do this after this. So 74X was saying it plays, the trailer looks like it plays like older KOF games. That's a good thing, I guess. No HD combos is a plus. He really didn't like that in KOF 13. What do you think about that, Assad?
Well, to be honest, right, he pointed out that 2K2 was like, you know, it didn't have that same HD, but in fact HD mode is derivative of the 2K2 combo mode. The only difference was in 2K2 is that it was slightly shorter, it was a little harder to connect the first two hits, so if you'd activate the mode you would have to run up and hit someone in the right time to be able to continue on the combo, and they were just slightly harder. right?
Slightly,
HD
I would
mode.
say a lot harder.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So in that case, the HD mode was still existed, but the fact that HD was then accessible to everyone in KOF13, I felt that it would allow more people to come in and still have a new aspect to learn, rather than sticking to BNBs, for example. I mean, you can still actually stick to BNBs and still do a hell of a lot of damage. But yeah, exactly. So actually, to me, HD seems like like an alternative. If you want to learn about HD, if you want to spend the time, you can do so, and you will get, your results from it. You will get yeah, exactly. You'll basically get your results from it. If you don't put the work in, you'll just have to put the work into other fundamental stuff. To stop people from actually attacking you with their HD combos. If you're good with that, then because there are people who put in time instantly in HD combos. There are people who put in time into learning how pokes work, how to stop other characters from coming in, how to stop other characters from doing certain things. So it's just a matter of balance, really. I think if they remove HD from KOF. If they remove long combos like that, I don't feel like I'd be for it. Go on.
Okay. All right, and then in contrast, J. Siegfried, I always call him DJ Siegfried, is saying that the HD is his favourite part in KOF 13. What do you think about that, Vin?
I can dig it. I can dig it with HD compared to 2002 variant. The accessibility of activating during a combo it's good to the newcomers because it requires a slightly good execution to cancel the move, BC, run, and continue to combo with that. In 13, just you can hit, BC, hit again, and make your combo. Oh, that's good. Just should limit the juggles in hyperdrive mode to not be repetitive. I think.
Really?
Balance between the max version for 2002 and the 80 combo accessibility from 13.
Okay, cool. Right, we need to wrap this up very soon. So, JP, what do you think?
I like the current system. I think they struck a nice balance between the interesting part of max mode, but in a more accessible way. But still, it requires skill. Proof of that is that you can miss your HD quite easily. So I would disagree with what has been said before. You cannot simply hit buttons. It depends on the combo. It depends on the character. But for sometimes you really need to hit the slight nice spot.
Rio and Robert, DP to fireball cancel. Yeah, that part is not good to the newcomers. But just should regulate to the newcomers this part, and okay, I can dig it. If they plan to use the max mode in 14. Continue, JP.
No problem. Well, that's about it. I think then I like the current balance of the difficulty around HD mode. You can do it, but you still need work, unless you want to go for a really simple combo, and that perfectly suits newcomers. They can simply make something simple and get nice damage out of it.
Exactly.
And if you want to optimize it, then it can take a lot of work. So I'd like them to keep the system for sure.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. Personally, I'm quite happy with the HD thing, and as you said, it takes a lot of work to get the most out of the system. And once you do a lot of work, you get a lot of satisfaction out of doing that. And but at the same time, when you come home from work and you want to just chill and do some combos quickly, it's not going to happen in KOF 13. But it can still be fun just doing some simple 4-hit, 5-hit combos. And one idea would be, maybe, I don't know what you guys think, but if there was a system which had the HD bar but without the HD activation, so you could do like maximum of 2 cancels in your combo, might not be too bad.
Haven't you recently picked up Skullgirls? Because it's the worst.
Oh.
Any BNB is like a KOF HD.
Yeah, so things like games like Marvel vs. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Skullgirls, other anime fighters, they all have those ridiculously long on the ground continuum pokes that you can just extend your combos with, which I still find that HD mode and max mode from 2K2 just did it the best way, because you have that time limit. And if you've optimized your combos well, of course you'll see repetition. You'll see same moves over and over again. But if you've optimized it, you'll find that they're very useful and they were done well.
Yeah.
I still feel like there was a proper balance between them.
Yeah, but sometimes I wish they could tone this aspect of the games down a little, like endless combos for BNBs. It's quite discouraging to learn a new game.
Yeah, I know. I do like the system, but I don't like the little repetition, the loops that you keep doing. It's not very nice to look at anyway. And we want to try and get more people to get interested. But yeah.
So maybe they could evolve HD mode into not allowing you to do the same move a second time, and that could make it far more difficult to properly connect things, though.
Yeah. We haven't really thought about this very well, but so far off the top of my head, it sounds like, okay, I can do 1 fireball, 1 dragon punch, 1 hurricane kick.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Do a super, and it's not really so exciting, is it? But of course, I'm sure they're working on that now. I'm having a little chat with the producer about some things, so we'll let you know about that interview later on. And we've got to wrap this up now. It's now midnight in Central European time. So we've talked about the gameplay, we've talked about the graphics, we've talked about DLC, probably other couple of weird things as well. So that's cool. I'd like to thank everyone that's come in today, and first of all our missing soldier comrades, Dobeak Wolf and Eternal Dragon, then Assad, Vin and Kogazor, and last but not least, Lewis.
Well, thanks for having us. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for extending the invitation.
You're very, very welcome, and hopefully, I don't know, if we've got something else to talk about, maybe in December after the next showing. Yeah, the trial by fire. People are actually paying to go down to this show to play this game. I hope it's not a waste of time and money. My goodness. So yeah, it's going to be nail-biting stuff.
Before Capcom Cup.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Capcom Cup will be in PSX.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting time. So thanks again to everyone. I gotta go now, and so if we keep on track with everyone through, well, some of us you were playing with us on Steam, and some of us us from the Facebook page and Twitter and
Not
stuff.
In my case, because Brazil Europe connection. No
yeah,
way.
Well, yeah, but you have got access to Twitter and Facebook.
Better than nothing.
Yeah, it's better than nothing, and we can always chat. So we'll catch up again later in December, I guess. So hopefully speak to you guys then. All right.
Nice to meet you guys. Later.
Nice to meet you guys too. Cheers. See you later. Bye.
Have fun.